Hola, mi gente. You're listening to LlamaMe Anything, and I'm your host, Vanessa Francesco Ortega. Today's episode is about something that's been sitting with me, or maybe I should say something that's been thinking for me. Because lately, I've been wondering what happens when the machines start writing and we stop. What do we lose when our essays, our captions, our poetry are drafted by a language model instead of our own messy, brilliant minds? And what does that mean for culture, for memory, for originality, for us? So here's what happened. A recent MIT study had participants write essays under 3 different conditions. One group used ChatGPT, another used a search engine like Google, and the third used just their brains. The result? The group using ChatGPT showed the lowest levels of brain activity, especially in alpha and beta bands. Those are linked to creativity and focus. Even more shocking is that 83% of ChatGPT group couldn't recall a single quote from their essays, not one sentence. It's not just about convenience. It's about memory, creativity, ownership. And maybe this isn't even new. Way back in ancient Greece, Plato told a story about a god who invented writing. He offered it to a king, claiming it would make people wiser. The king said no, it would make them forgetful, that they'd stop thinking for themselves. Doesn't that sound familiar? Maybe every generation has their calculator moment. And maybe that's what AI is, a calculator for thoughts, for words, for synthesis. But here's my perspective. Because I don't think AI is just bad. I actually think the future of content is just creation. It's not just creation, it's curation, which AI is great at. Most geniuses I've admired, musicians, scientists, designers, they're not just brilliant inventors, they're master pattern recognizers. They see connections between things no one else can put together. And AI, it can help with that. Linking, associating, remixing. But genius isn't just about knowing what to say, it's about knowing why it matters. That's something AI can't feel, can't live, can't remember. We need to know the process, how to build an argument, how to wander through a thought before we land to the punchline, how to make meaning, not just generate text. Because writing is thinking. And if we forget how to write, we forget how to think. So here's my take. Let's treat AI like a calculator. Yes, we use it, but we also learn the math. We train our minds to hold complexity, to structure ideas, to argue, to dream. Then, only then, do we invite the machine in to help us work smarter, not weaker. Because if we start with AI, we risk losing parts of us that make us creative in the first place. And the truth is, AI is brilliant, but it's also average. It's basic. That's literally what it's trained to do. Generate the most probable next sentence. But we weren't born to be probable. We were born to be unforgettable. If this sparks something in you, share it with someone who thinks too much, someone who writes, someone who's been tempted to let the bot take the wheel. And remember, this show is for you. LlamaMe Anything.